Hey there everybody, Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is taking another look ahead towards The Bachelor episode 9 that is coming on ABC on Monday night. But there's a lot that's going on here with this episode. We have some possible producer tomfoolery that is happening. We've got some more details all about that. We're going to try to piece together a little bit of the timeline as to where certain things are happening when it comes to Madison Pruitt, Pilot Pete, Victoria F, Hannah Ann, like how they're all roped into all of this. But that's not all. We also are going to be taking a little bit of a look at some new news related to The Bachelor as a franchise. Before we dive into this though, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates that we've got coming your way. Alright, let's just start with the news because apparently we needed another Bachelor show between now and, I guess, September when all of this cycle comes to an end.
Yeah, we're going to have 5 shows all together now. The new show that's going to be coming up is going to be the Bachelor Summer Games.
So, if you remember Winter Games, they did this a couple years ago while, understandably the actual Winter Games were on, and they brought in contestants from all over the world, different franchises, and they competed in some events. There were kind of some relationships. I mean, I know there was a proposal at one point. I don't think it ended up lasting, but it was weird. I don't know if they knew what they were doing, production. It was still enjoyable for some reason.
Yeah, it seems like, it was just a bunch of fun, really. It didn't feel like any of the other shows that they've done where it really focuses more on the relationships. It was just a bit of fun, and it was for a short period of time. So I'm pretty excited, actually, that they're going to bring this one back, because I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah, and Rob Mills, who's ABC's sort of one of the reality gurus, he confirmed this on Bachelor Party. So it's gone from being a rumor to being something that is like actually substantial and happening. Here is the schedule of everything we have. The Bachelor, happening right now. We've got a little bit of time left on that. Listen to Your Heart, which is that music theme thing that they're doing.
I am still out on this. I do not know about this show. They I don't know, man.
Could we just have another day of American Idol or something instead? I don't understand this show.
That's the thing. There's so many singing shows and competitions and that's out there that I don't need a Bachelor singing show. And they already have so many other fun parts of this franchise that, for me, I don't know, you're gonna have to really sell me on this one.
It does not have Jed. How does that sound as a endorsement for it?
All right, it's gone from a here to a here.
No dog food singing. Well, actually, I don't know. There may be some other dog food jingle writers on Listen to Your Heart.
It is a singing show.
After those two, The Bachelorette is coming. We'll probably talk more about possible contenders for that down the line, but that's probably starting in May. It's typically when it comes on. Then we're gonna have Summer Games. Then we'll have Bachelor in Paradise. This is a lot. I don't know if we can all take this level of Bachelor Nation entertainment without any breaks at all.
Yeah, so we're basically going to have Bachelor products for 9 months.
Yeah, I am curious to know if they're going to try to come up with some other show now that they're going to put on in the fall and just do Bachelor as a year-round thing. If you're going to make it like sports, though, there's a break for sports. There still needs to be a break for The Bachelor, too.
Yeah, this is a lot of Bachelor, and I understand how popular this show is. We love this show. You love this show. Is there such a thing as Bachelor Burn Out? I guess we'll see in 9 months when we all get together and be like, man, that was a lot. Or I'm ready for the next, give me like a talent show, Bachelor where everyone is, dancing for their love.
Well, dance to the, I don't know. I'll come up with a name for that. But if you have a good name, leave it in the comments. All right, let's talk about episode 9 now, because this is interesting what they're doing. So we know entering this episode that Madison and Peter are going to have a talk about how presumably it's going to be about how Madison is saving herself for marriage, and she wants to get all that out there to Peter before the overnight dates, which, it's an admirable thing. She's not springing it on him in the middle of all of that.
No, and I think it's important that she does lay it out before they get to that point where he's about to make a move. We've all seen Peter in the windmill, and we all know everything about him.
Yeah.
So it's much better that they have that conversation before they're there. So that's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Let him know what's going on and where she wants to be in their relationship. Peter's not going to throw her out or decide he doesn't want to be with her because of that. He's definitely going to respect that.
Well, here's the interesting thing that comes after all of this, though, is that we have this moment in this preview where you can see Madison. It seems like she's wearing the same outfit she was wearing at the rose ceremony for the Final Four. But it also seems like she's sitting at some table with, like, candles everywhere, and it looks very put together. And that conversation was so, like, impromptu.
And the conversation at the table sounds like she's talking in the past. Like, if he has slept with anyone, or if he, could have slept with someone, sort of, that then she doesn't think she's going to be able to deal with that.
So the question, I think, becomes then, okay, when did that conversation take place? Because the outfit choice suggests that she had this conversation with him before they went and did the overnight dates in Australia. But also, was a producer just like, okay, we need to get candles lit, a table setting, because it doesn't feel like they had that on standby that they could just run these people over to.
My feeling is they probably knew this is when Madison was going to tell them, because I'm sure they knew that she's been sitting on this for a really long time, and that she'd be like, all right, you know what, I'm ready. I have to talk to him about it now. I have no choice. We're about to go into the fantasy suite. I know what that means, so I have held off for as long as I possibly can, and now I gotta tell him.
So I feel like that you're probably right. She probably tipped off production. That's probably why it was all set up in advance. And I think that conversation happened then. I can't see her wearing the same exact thing for the overnight date at this point. I don't know what goes on with wardrobe. But I think really what kind of is interesting from all of this, though, is she doesn't actually say, if you're with someone at overnight dates, we're going to break up.
No, instead she kind of says it in a roundabout way that gives the exact same message, which is just like, I don't think I'm going to be okay with it. Well, that's the same thing. You might as well just say, if you are with somebody else, we're done, and not kind of foot around it. Just say what you mean.
Yeah, I think she probably wanted it to not feel like an ultimatum.
It still is.
Yeah, not realizing that it is still an ultimatum, and that's something that is going to come up. So usually, when they do overnight dates, these people are kind of just separated because they feel like, okay, you've been through enough, we're not going to make you deal with any more nonsense anymore.
Well, especially when it's the overnight dates. Anyone who's watched the show's been on forever. Like, if you're going to the fantasy suites, everybody knows what that means. So how incredibly awkward and crappy is it to watch somebody that you're all dating the same person, one person's going to leave and they're going to an overnight date, and then they're going to come back after having been with Peter and whatever has happened, and now you're all in the house.
Yeah.
So for this whole process, all you really have to focus on is the person that you're dating, and that's all you have to talk about. You're not on the internet, on the phone, you're not watching TV, you're not going anywhere. All you really have to focus in on is that. So you're going to be curious, you're going to ask those questions, and it's going to be an answer nobody wants to really talk about.
Yeah, this is the first time I can remember personally that they've ever done this, where they're all in one place together, and they're going to have a lot that they could talk about. And we see in the preview, Madison and Hannah Ann do have this conversation, and it sounds like Madison is telling Hannah Ann about this conversation. But just in case that's not enough possible production tomfoolery for you, consider this. Madison's overnight date is going to be the last one. Why do you think they did that, perhaps?
Oh, of course. They want to make sure that Peter has had his opportunity to be with other people. That's why the way that the conversation happened with Peter and Madison, I do think that it happened beforehand. And my guess is that if she was like, I don't know how I'm going to feel if you're with other people, that Peter's not going to say, oh, okay, well then I won't be with other people. Yeah. He's there to be part of this process and see who he wants to be with. The process isn't over yet. So I've seen a lot of debate back and forth that, oh, well, if he really loves her, then he'll not do it. Okay, but he doesn't know yet. He's dating 3 people. Like, this is where he figures out if he loves her or not. Like, throughout the process, that isn't over yet. So I get that she wants to ask him to not have that happen in their relationship, and that's great. It starts to get really sticky when she's asking him to put her beliefs and what she wants in their relationship on other people that are not in their relationship. So when we had this conversation with Hannah Ann sitting on the bed, and you could see her face where she's kind of like, I don't know if Madison told her everything, where she was like, oh, I asked him not to be with any of you guys, because then we have Victoria F being like, really? Like, are you kidding me with this? I hate to say it, but I absolutely agree. It is not up to Madison to decide what's going on in Peter's other relationships.
The truth is that the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, it doesn't really matter. They kind of set the rules for what their season is going to be, because it's their season, and I think you should know that going in. And I respect fully Madison's own personal decision, but
absolutely,
dictating it upon what the lead is going to do with other people, like, that's a different story. And I mean, of course, Victoria, because she can't just ever have just like an even-keeled opinion about anything, she's in this preview just being like, that's disgusting. That's okay, Victoria, calm down. Is it a little bit unfair? Sure, but no, it's not disgusting. The world is not ending here.
No, it's not disgusting, but it is absolutely unfair to put your thoughts on someone else's relationship. You can't do that. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't do that. They then are having opportunities that they are there for, that they are open to, that they want to experience. They could be being taken away because Madison said so for someone else's relationships. And going into this season, if you know that Peter is the Bachelor, then you understand the whole windmill thing. You understand that this is part of who he is, and that is something that he may want to do in his other relationships. So while it's okay to not do that in the relationship with Madison, I think that he's probably going to go forward and do that with the other women, because they have different relationships. If Madison decides that she can't be part of that after the fact, that is absolutely her choice, and she has to do what's right for her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us are going to, fault Madison for deciding to leave or not be a part of this if that's her decision to make. I mean, it's a little bit different if, she starts acting in a way where she is insulting or putting down Peter because of Peter's own decisions that he makes. But she's obviously allowed to do whatever she's going to do. I just think the real question here is, are producers trying to make Peter's job harder? Are they out to intentionally just cause a lot of this drama? If nothing else, they're clearly trying to test this relationship and see if it can withstand it.
Well, the other thing I'm really kind of wondering about is why Madison would be telling any of the other women what her conversation with Peter was, or that she's trying to put the kibosh on these other 2 relationships before the process is over, or that she's trying to stop certain things from happening, these fantasy suite dates. And why would you say any of that? You're all living together. It's already going to be awkward that people are going off and doing this, but then you're going to come and be like, so I told Peter this, so just so you know, don't expect anything to be happening. Like, I'm sure it won't come out like that. But that's the gist. If what that conversation on the bed is really going to play out like that, and that's what Madison's doing, is actually telling them, by the way, I told Peter this, so sorry for your luck.
So I guess here is kind of the timeline we're looking at now, at least if our predictions are correct here. Peter and Madison are going to have a conversation before the overnight dates happen, seemingly at the same spot as the rose ceremony. Then we're going to see the overnight dates take place. At some point during those first 2, it might be after them, it might be before, Madison's going to talk with Victoria and Hannah Ann about what she talked about with Peter. Maybe it's manipulative. Maybe it's just her wanting to talk to someone because she's bored. We don't know.
Or maybe if she did have this conversation where at the rose ceremony she was like, oh, can I talk to you for a second? I'm sure the women were like, well, what did you talk about?
Yeah.
Well, what did you talk about? Oh, why don't you tell me what you talked about? Fine, This is what I talked about.
That's true, and that's certainly possible that happens. But then production makes Madison go last. I would presume these conversations are going to come back up, and then everything will probably hit the fan.
What I'm actually wondering now that I'm thinking about it is that if Madison did not tell them that she gave an ultimatum, but that she told them about herself saving herself for marriage, and that's what she's decided to do with these fantasy suites, and that's where Victoria's like, that's disgusting, or whatever it is that she's trying to say. Maybe she didn't give everything, but she just said, this is where I want to take the relationship with Peter, and that part's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I would like to, well, not that I want her to say it, but I feel like Madison probably said that how she felt if Peter was with somebody else, because I feel like that's something that Victoria would react to that way, knowing what we do about Victoria.
Yes.
But this is sort of where I think we can expect things to go, but I think the big question for you guys is, beyond just if you think Madison is going to end up leaving, do you think the producers are intentionally just setting up things for Peter and Madison to be as difficult as humanly possible?
Or all of the women, that they all have to live together? Why?
Let us know in the comments, and if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking that link in the description to the CARTERMATT store. And we'll see you here next time.